afternoon, you're live on Casa TV, your #1 Christian television station. And this is Weekly Ritual with me, Salinana Ikuya Abwajoa. And on today's headlines coming out, 4 children have been burnt to death in a 4-bedroom house after their mother locked them up in the room to attend an all-night service at the Amasama in the Greater Accra region. We'll bring you details as to how this incident happened. And now the Electoral Commission says 30,000 people will not be able to vote in the upcoming December polls despite participating in a voters registration exercise. And 10 deaths in 2 weeks as coronavirus cases rise sharply in the past days, with the total cumulative cases numbering to 48,000. Bring you details of these stories and many others right after this. Please do stay. And now 4 children were burnt to death as fire got a 4-bedroom house in the Amasama in the Gas Central District of the Greater Accra region on Wednesday, 28th of October 2020. The 4 kids were sleeping in a room in the 4-bedroom house when the incident occurred. Report says the incident occurred in the early hours of Wednesday, October, while the children's mother was away for church service. The children aged between 6 and 16 years are said to have burnt beyond recognition. Eyewitness who narrated what happened said they heard voices of the children screaming for help when the fire started. However, nobody could save them due to the intensity of the fire and the apartment being locked up. Meanwhile, the mother of the 4 children burnt to death in Amasama speaks about how she instantly felt her children were dead upon hearing about the fire. A 4-bedroom house in the Amasama in the Gas Central District of the Greater Accra region has burnt and has killed 4 children in the process. According to reports gathered, the 4 kids were asleep in the 4-bedroom house when the incident occurred in the early hours of Wednesday. The cause of the fire remains unknown, but according to eyewitness, the mother of the kids locked them up and left for church service. The mother of the 4 kids who got burnt on Wednesday's fire in the house at Fisenia Amasama, Sister Efia, has denied that her oldest daughter was to be blamed for the untimely death of her 4 children. The 4 siblings aged 7, 9, 13 and 16 died when the mother left the children to go and pray at a local church in the vicinity. Even though her oldest daughter died together with her 3 other children, Sister Efia said it herself, listening to comment that she was to be blamed for that. Narrating the unfortunate incident, Sister Efia, who is also a reverend minister at the church, said when they opened the building in the house of the fire, the daughter together with her siblings were already dead. According to her, her daughter asked her to take the lead and promised to come with the other siblings. 30 minutes later, a resident rushed to inform her about the fire outbreak. She said she was lucky even though to have left with her last born before this fire started. Sister Efia said there were 8 to 9 rooms instead of 4 that was said earlier in the report. Meanwhile, Assistant Chief Fire Service Officer for the Ghana West and North Municipality, Doris Lamte, says initial investigations revealed there were 2 cylinders found in the room and 1 exploded. 5 other children were rescued by the National Fire Service without injury. And now the Electoral Commission says 30,000 people will not be able to vote in the upcoming December 7 polls despite participating in the voters registration exercise. Deputy Commissioner in charge of Corporate Service, Mr. Eric Bosman Asari, made this revelation, said out of the over 17 million people who registered, this persons has been disqualified. Giving more detail, Dr. Bosman explained that while the 14,000 of them have been put on the exception list, about 16,000 names are also on the multiple list. The Deputy Commissioner said due process was followed in rechange the decision to bar them from the December polls. According to him, after their eligibility was challenged, the regulatory body began the legal process, which was presided over by a judge to arrive at the decision to disqualify them. He also discredited claims that an election in the country can be flawed. And now the Chief Executive Officer of the Sky Petroleum Filling Station at the Isua Day in the Ahafo Ano Southeast region of the Ashanti region, Alhaji Abubakar Sadiq, has been shot dead by unknown gunmen. The incident occurred on Wednesday, 28th of October 2020 around 5 p.m. The four unmarked men stormed the filling station with bomb guns, according to a worker of the company, name only given as Eric, narrated the incident. He said the deceased, together with him, struggled with the armed men before he was shot dead. The gun-wielded men, he said, made away with only 350 Ghana cedi sales they have done for the day. The body of the deceased has been deposited at the Mankraso Government Hospital morgue for preservation. Meanwhile, Superintendent Richard Wahin, the District Police Commander, said investigations have been commenced into the crime. District Chief Executive for the area, who doubles as the Chairman of District Security Council, Joseph Ejimandapa, said emergency security meeting will be held on this incident. He bemoaned the inadequate number of police officers in the district, he said. Now on COVID-19, Ghana's coronavirus have seen a sharp rise in the past days, with the total cumulative cases nearing to over 48,000. This has also seen a spike in the active cases, which went as low as 301 in the early part of October, precisely October 10. Within just a couple of weeks, the figure has jumped to 335 from the latest update from the Ghana Health Service on Thursday, October 29, in what many say could be as possible second wave of the virus. President Nana Akufo-Addo made his intentions clear of achieving the goal of 0 active cases. He urged the citizenry to continue to comply with the measures put in place to deal with the virus. Out of this, 40,136 have either recovered or been discharged, while 320 have lost their lives. The Greater Accra region have recorded a total sum of 25,010 cases, with Ashanti region following with 11,008 cases. So far, the Northeast, Northern, Oti and Savannah regions have no active cases, while the Central region has only 1 active case after recording 1,939 cases since it first recorded the disease on April 8, 2020. Now, the Member of Parliament for Dodo constituency, Edwin Nilante Vanderpoy, has said the Jamestown police should be blamed for the confrontation that occurred between supporters of the National Democratic Congress and the New Patriotic Party during a health walk on Sunday, October 25. He said the police was incompetent in handling the situation. Meanwhile, the New Patriotic Party parliamentary candidate for the Dodo constituency, Edward Patrick Nilante Bannerman, has condemned alleged attacks on his party supporters over the weekend by members of the main opposition, NDC. Addressing journalists on Monday, October 26, Mr. Bannerman explained that the attack started at an NPP base known as Blue Gate, which is located on the high streets of Accra. Of the New Patriotic Party and the National Democratic Congress and violence in Jamestown in the Dodo constituency on Sunday morning. A number of video clips widely shared on social media platforms, it shows supporters of the two main parties throwing bottles as well as hurling stones and insults at each other. During the NDC's organized walk, some of their supporters besieged the Blue Gate base without any provocation or whatsoever. They started this act of vandalism by first pelting the base with stones and bottles and also at our members who were there, the NPP lamented. They went further to vandalize the entire place, and in the act, destroyed a 75 and 40-inch television set mounted on the walls, smashed electric bulbs, destroyed ceiling fans, and threw a refrigerator from the top floor of the one-story building. Meanwhile, Member of Parliament for the Dodojo constituency Edwin Nilanti Vanderpoy has said the Jamestown police should be blamed for the confrontation that occurred between supporters of the National Democratic Congress and the New Patriotic Party during a health walk on Sunday, October 25. He said the police was incompetent in handling the situation. Now, Apostle George Yeboah, the chairman of the Christ Apostolic Church International, has advised ministers of the church to be focused and to make an impact in their field, irrespective of the situation, as they commence pastoral work today. Apostle George Yeboah made the call at an ordination service held for 154 candidates at the Christ Apostolic Church International on Friday, October 30th, 2020. The chairman called on the ordained ministers to be impactful in the nation as they commence their journey to the ministry and told the congregants to pray for God's strength and protection over their life. Most Reverend Apostle Yeboah urged the new ministers to always rely on God for his divine protection and guidance through their lives. He also advised them to be humble in their service delivery and call on God whenever they encounter difficult moments. There is more in the following report.
You are aware of the work you are being called upon to do, and that the office you are to hold is that of honor and glory. Take note that the matter of salvation is delicate yet important, as it has been made known to you before, which you have accepted. And now, as called, are you prepared to do the work for which you were called wholeheartedly, and to take care of the church, which is the body of Christ and his bride, whom he had redeemed of his precious blood, and whom he had put in your care as one who will not fail, accounting for your souls at the last days? If you do, say, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Meanwhile, the secretary of the Christ Apostolic Church International, Apostle Samuel Ampon Safrimpon, lamented on the ongoing Christian happenings, saying that humans are supposed to be wise.
Believers in Ghana, Christians and non-Christians, I believe that everybody is a believer, including atheists, because they believe in the non-existence of God. We cannot be proved in the science lab. We all believe in something. And to us Christians, we must understand this. Your faith is the only assurance of your salvation. You are saved by faith in Christ Jesus and not by any other thing. Challenges will continue to happen, and challenges will prove the believer stronger than never before. We heard of a church collapsing. We may attribute it to the devil, but we also know that building regulations will have to be respected. Therefore, we advise everybody who wants to build, church or otherwise, to seek the appropriate advice from the appropriate authorities. In the same vein, we encourage the authorities to be firm on their regulations. We believe that this could have been avoided, but for the lapses in the system. So while the devil will continue to be devil, we must also be wise and follow due protocol.
Now, President Akufo-Addo has rounded up his campaign tour of the Greater Accra region with an interaction with transport operators and street hawkers at La Paz. The president, who is the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, began the campaign tour of the capital city on Monday, October 26, 2020. He visited, amongst other places, Aboso-Okai, Tema Regional Hospital, Lungwa, and Teshi to either commission or cut sword for some projects under his administration.
Fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen, MPP for you, you know, Boshe, and I'm a best child, so. Say, Mama, me quina, me bado, nyakopo, so pressure. May you say. Na eno na me gyina so. Na mo gye me tumu. Sɛ bɔhyɛ no na afei amammuo bɔne a na yɛwura mahama ɛde ɔma no ɛfa mu no saa nneɛma mmienu na bɔɔ mu ɛma moto aba no bom ɛma me afei deɛ ɛnte saa biom aka bosom mmienu na yɛ mfie na gyimegyimi ka sɛ bɔhyɛ nko ara meba mɛgyina mo anim de ahyɛ mo bɔ ɛsɛ mekyerɛ mo sɛ Mesa ho anu adwuma amaye no esomani ana ensomani se esomani a se mesa no adwuma esomani dia mesramo abaye ba beto December aka busomeni bibi kakra akei moma 4 years for nana no enye adwuma.
Now to our business story. The government of Ghana and Airtel Tigo have begun the final stages of discussion concerning the transfer of Airtel Tigo shares to the government along with all its customers, assets and agreed liabilities. The transaction would be concluded by the executive of definitive agreement shortly after which the government would temporarily operate the assets in the best interest of the nation. The move would also ensure protection of interests of all employees, customers and stakeholders while continuing on with the digital formulation in Ghana. It is therefore of critical importance that the telecommunications sector remain healthy, dynamic, vibrant and most importantly competitive. Airtel Tigo serves around 5.1 million subscribers and offers direct and indirect employment opportunity to almost 10,000 people. The government of Ghana remain a shareholder in Airtel Ghana with a 25% holding through the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation until the Airtel Tigo merger and retain an option to acquire additional shares after the merger. And now to our sports news. Ghana coach Charles Akono will announce a squad for next month's 2021 African Cup of Nations qualifiers on Friday. The Black Star will engage Sudan in a two-leg 2021 AFCON qualifying matches in November. Ghana has announced that the naming of the squad for the double-header will be done courtesy the association's official Facebook and YouTube channels, Ghana Football Association, during the live broadcast of GFA News. The four-time Africa champions will play as guests to Sudan at the Cape Coast Stadium on Thursday, November 12, before making a trip to Khartoum for the return encounter 5 days. Ghana has been preparing for the matches with two friendly games against Mali and Qatar. The West Africa Giants lost 3-0 against the Eagles, but recovered the TAMP 2022 FIFA World Cup host Qatar 5-1 in the second match. Coach Akono is seeking to continue with a 10th flying start to the qualifiers following victories against South Africa and Sao Tome and Principe in the November 2019. Now on entertainment news. The family of high life artist Kofi B has announced November 6th and 8 as the days for the final funeral rites of the musician. Uncle of the late musician known as Mr. Kwame Addo, who spoke on behalf of the family in an interview, warned that they wouldn't take it lightly on anyone who wants to take advantage of the funeral. According to him, the family of Kofi B has not instructed or directed anyone to sell T-shirts or anything branded with their son's image. Hence, anyone having plans of doing so should put a stop to that. Mr. Addo explained that this was yet a warning, and anyone who fails to listen to them and go ahead to sell such things will be dealt with according to law. Kofi Boakye Adom, known by his stage name as Kofi B, was a Ghanaian musician. He was known for his songs such as Mobrowa, Bantama Kofi Boakye, and Koforidia Flowers. Among others, he was inspired by the likes of Amachi Dede, Kojo Entry, and Ofori Amponsa. And still on entertainment, popular Ghanaian marriage relationship counselor Cyril George Lutrot has revealed how painful he was after Gifty Auntie's reaction on his famous rape comments. If you would recall, the host of The Sandpoint stated that she personally stopped the controversial counselor from appearing on a show about 4 years ago. She made this comment after counselor was lambasted for saying that rape victims enjoy the act to a certain extent. Due to this, counselor availed he went to his mother's grave and asked her to listen to what Gifty has said. According to him, he was shocked and he did not expect such comment from a woman of her caliber to do the same thing that young folks were doing. Counselor mentioned how he admired, talked and worked and did everything with Gifty Auntie. He shockingly revealed how the dead body, the morgue and the cemetery motivate him.
Castle no so we finish for 4 years. Me tena din me say hey. Me come ma me naso. Eh. Na me ko bisa ma me say won tie the Gifty aka.
Wow. Gifty Auntie.
Me catch ma me say won tie the Gifty Auntie aka. And kwala bi agura no penny to say we come. I didn't talk again. My wife told me don't talk.
Wow.
If there's anybody I admire, I work with, I do everything with the Gifty Auntie.
Counselor, for you to go on your mother's tomb,
it is the 3 things that motivate me: the dead body, the morgue, and the cemetery. Ubi you follow me as me. Actually, so every 6 weeks I'm in the cemetery. I activate the ghosts. I activate the dead. I mean, I talk with the dead. That's my motivation.
Spiritually, what be on?
Papa.
When you want there,
anybody can come bedroom.
Counselor, oh boy, because Obi say so. Aduma we you won't be yanko be okun.
Oh no, you the nipa be then. You kunya, me kun first. I'll kill everybody in your family.
So Obi kunwa.
Oh shit, man.
Also be kun Obi fiam nyina.
Kai, I'll take the prominent person. Your breadwinner must go.
And now in our international news. 3 people were killed in a knife attack at a church in the southern French city of Nice on Thursday, an act President Emmanuel referred to as an Islamic terror attack, and which prompted the country to raise its security alarm to the highest level. The attack came in tensions over cartoons degrading the Prophet Muhammad, and it echoes the beheading less than 2 weeks ago of a Sorbonne Paris teacher who had shown the cartoons in a class about free expression. The French government has defended the cartoon as representing the right of blasphemy against any religion. The bigger concern, the government says, is a need to reform the practice of Islam in France as a means of combating Islamic separatism and violence. Many Muslims in France and abroad interpret the cartoons as a deeply offensive provocation. There have been calls for a boycott of French products across the Muslim world. Speaking at a scene in Nice on Thursday afternoon, Macron condemned the attack and doubled down on his defense of freedom and expression, although he did not expressly mention the Mohammed cartoons.
Bien, mesdames, messieurs, une fois encore, notre pays a été frappé par une attaque terroriste islamiste. fois encore ce matin, ce sont 3 de nos compatriotes qui sont tombés à Nice, en cette basilique Notre-Dame de Nice. Et très clairement, c'est la France qui est attaquée. Au même moment, nous avions un site consulaire français qui était attaqué en Arabie Saoudite, à Jeddah. Au même moment, des interpellations sur notre territoire se faisaient. Je veux ici dire, d'abord et avant tout, le soutien de la nation tout entière aux catholiques, de France et d'ailleurs. Si nous sommes attaqués, une fois encore, c'est pour les valeurs qui sont les nôtres, pour notre goût de la liberté, pour cette possibilité sur notre sol de croire librement et de ne céder à aucun esprit de terreur. Et je le dis avec beaucoup de clarté une fois encore aujourd'hui, nous n'y céderons rien. Ce matin, nous avons décidé d'augmenter la posture de vigilance partout en France pour nous adapter à la menace terroriste. J'ai décidé que nos militaires seront dans les prochaines heures davantage mobilisés et nous passerons la mobilisation dans le cadre de l'opération Sentinelle de 3 000 à 7 000 militaires sur notre sol. Nous nous mettrons ainsi en situation de protéger tous les lieux de culte, en particulier, bien évidemment, les églises, pour que la Toussaint puisse se dérouler dans les conditions qui sont dues. C'est donc un message de fermeté absolue que je veux passer aujourd'hui. Et enfin, c'est également un message d'unité. En France, il n'y a qu'une communauté, c'est la communauté nationale. Et je veux dire à tous nos concitoyens, quelle que soit leur religion, qu'ils croient d'ailleurs ou qu'ils ne croient pas, que nous devons dans ces moments nous unir et ne rien céder à l'esprit de division. Je vous remercie.
And that'll be all for this week's edition on Weekly Retro. You can log on to our social media handle at Kasi Television for more news updates. My name has been Salina Ikuya Abuadra. A very big thank you goes to my crew, especially Joe Cash, to my hairstylist Afro Joy Naturals, and to you who watch me as well. See you same time next week. Have a great afternoon.